Well, the Indiana Fever lose a very, very tough one, a squeaker, as the New York Liberty, a team that one could argue is the best team in the WNBA, win by way of a squeaker. Some controversy on that last play, no doubt about it. In my opinion, it looked like Natasha Cloud probably fouled her. It was not called. The referees love to swallow their whistles at that time, that part of the game. But then again, they did not swallow their whistles with the foul call on Lexi Hall against Sabrina Ionescu just 3 seconds earlier.
The Indiana Fever suffered a heartbreaking defeat in what turned out to be an extremely close contest. The New York Liberty, widely considered among the WNBA's elite squads, managed to secure victory in a nail-biting finish. The final moments sparked significant debate, without question. Analysis suggests that Natasha Cloud likely committed a violation against her opponent. However, the officials chose not to make that determination. Referees typically prefer to keep their whistles silent during crucial game moments like these. Yet ironically, they had no hesitation making a questionable call against Lexi Hall when she defended Sabrina Ionescu just moments before.
Yesterday game was horrendous, bro. I mean, it was bad. I mean, this one might be one for the ages, bro. I can't even lie. The referees just exposed their hand so bad, bro. I mean, they just didn't care no more. They didn't care. The world was watching how bad the cause was. They didn't care at all. They was going to get their issue off against the Fever no matter what. And I'm here to tell you, that's exactly what went down, bro. I mean, they got their issue off in a major way, bro. I mean, there was countless of times I could literally look at the screen and know that was a foul. Dude, my 4-year-old son knew that was a foul, bro. I mean, what the hell? I mean, you would think with what they said coming into the season, Kathy was made it her business to let them know that, referees is going to be getting assessed for this next season to make sure they're making the right, proper calls. Man, at this point, we need NBA refs all the time, bro. I don't want these YMCA, junior league, high school ass referees, bro. We need real life refs because as of right now, they're costing the Indiana Fever major games that they definitely need to win. Even though it is early, bro, we need to win these games.
This particular game analysis has generated plenty of discussion because currently there's a singular focus dominating basketball conversations. WNBA officials could potentially lose their positions after assisting the New York Liberty in defeating Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever through questionable officiating decisions. What unfolded during the live broadcast was essentially theft of a competitive outcome. The officials' management of this contest wasn't merely poor, it was offensive. This appeared to be one of those situations where Caitlin Clark and the Fever found themselves competing against two opponents, the Liberty squad and the referees themselves.
Played on CBS was horrendous. These WNBA referees need to be fined. Something needs to happen. I mean, the lack of calls against the New York Liberties was at an all-time high, bro. I mean, if this was an NBA game, a lot of players would have been fouled out. A lot of players would have been in deep foul trouble. The way Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever was getting fouled, it was just hard to watch at times. Now, granted, they rallied back from a 15-1 lead. From a 15-point deficit. But, guys, I'm telling you right now, the referees are the storyline in this one, bro. And I told y'all, I stressed to y'all this offseason, I told y'all what it was. I say, if Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever no call. Should have been 3 free throws. 3 of them, bro. She should have had 3 of them. This is freaking ridiculous, bro. I mean, ridiculous. We need to write the WNBA right now because these referees have to go. They have to go. I mean, damn, dog. I mean, bro, Aaliyah Boston hacked every damn play. Every time Caitlin Clark fed up the ball, Aaliyah Boston was getting hacked. Time after time after time again. Play after play after play.
Last night's contest was absolutely terrible. It was genuinely awful. This might become legendary for all the wrong reasons. The officials completely revealed their bias so blatantly. They simply stopped caring about appearances. The entire world witnessed how terrible their decisions were, yet they remained indifferent. They were determined to take out their frustrations on the Fever regardless of circumstances. That's precisely what happened. They expressed their animosity in a significant way. There were numerous instances where I could immediately recognize obvious violations. My 4-year-old child could identify those fouls. What's happening here? You'd expect that given the preseason statements when Kathy made it clear that referees would face evaluation this upcoming season to ensure proper call accuracy. At this stage, we require NBA-level officials consistently. I don't want these recreational league, amateur, high school quality referees. We need legitimate professionals because currently they're costing the Indiana Fever crucial victories that they absolutely must secure. Despite the early season timing, these games are essential wins.
Now, this is bad, bro. My God, bro. Let me try to blow it up.
Off. Cloud.
That's this.
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left.
Foul right there. Boom.
Clark doesn't get the shot off. Cloud locks her up. And New York comes into Indianapolis and takes the checkered flag.
The Indiana Fever prepared for battle in Indianapolis, and they delivered exactly that. They recovered from a 15-point disadvantage. They demonstrated determination, passion, and drive. But ultimately, none of that mattered because the referees became the main story. Analysis suggests that in an NBA setting, numerous New York players would have faced foul difficulties before halftime. Caitlin Clark endured constant physical contact without protection. Aaliyah Boston faced rough treatment in the low post. The officials simply ignored everything as if nothing occurred. Anyone who watched understands exactly what transpired. It was difficult to endure. Predictions suggested this possibility during the offseason, that if Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever began achieving success, officials might attempt to sabotage their progress. That's exactly what transpired. The Fever emerged in the second half prepared for action. Caitlin Clark was dominating. Consecutive three-pointers, step-back shots, clutch baskets. She embarrassed Sabrina Ionescu with a crossover move. She energized the audience. The momentum was clearly changing. That's precisely when the whistles vanished. That's when the game was removed from the players' control.
Now, look, Natasha Cloud, and I made a video yesterday. I told y'all Natasha Cloud could possibly be the reason. I hope not, but she could possibly be the reason Caitlin Clark get attacked this game. Somebody tipped me off and saying that in the comment sections yesterday of the video. I say, watch, there's always a player every game to screw over Caitlin. In this game, it was Natasha Cloud. So shout out to you who predicted that Natasha Cloud was going to be the reason Caitlin Clark never get screwed over in this game.
Screening action down low. Clark has to get open. 1 second left. Clark doesn't get the shot off.
That was a foul, guys. And I wish we had another angle. Oh my God, I wish we had another angle. So, guys, I'm literally surfing the web right now. I'm literally surfing the web right now to try to get us some footage, man. Because this right here is ridiculous. Natasha Cloud straight up fouled Caitlin Clark. And yeah. And then Stephanie White is in hot water too because she didn't challenge it. She didn't challenge no call whatsoever. They had a challenge left to use, but Stephanie White did not use it, bro.
The final minutes were particularly frustrating to watch. With only 2.9 seconds remaining, Caitlin Clark was fouled on a game-deciding attempt. No whistle, no examination, nothing. She deserved 3 free throw opportunities. That could have determined the outcome. It's ridiculous that officials ignored such an obvious violation. The frustration isn't simply because it involved Clark. The issue stems from how clear it was. It was blatant. It was incorrect. The broadcast was horrendous. These WNBA referees deserve fines. Action must be taken. The absence of calls against the New York Liberty reached unprecedented levels. In an NBA game, multiple players would have fouled out. Many would have been in serious foul trouble. The way Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever were being fouled was painful to witness. Despite rallying from a 15-point deficit, the referees dominated the storyline. This pattern was evident throughout the offseason discussion.
She could have challenged that final play, bro. My God. But let's get into some of the highlights of the game. That is Caitlin Clark shooting these threes, bro, because I'm telling you right now, I'm finna cook, bro.
Bodies on the floor. Clark 1-on-3 trying to split the defense. Goes into
Caitlin Clark came in that third quarter.
And a fearless Caitlin Clark here.
Watch how she uses her body to shield the defender. That's just beautifully done by Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark came in cooking, guys. This is when things went downhill. So This is them calling a foul on Lexi Hall, right? This foul is determining. This foul right here was the reason they won the game.
You know, conditions are terrible when commentators suggest maybe that's an offensive foul, while the defender is obviously maintaining legal position. Lexi Hall received a foul call that completely shifted the game's momentum. The Liberty capitalized on that possession to score. From that point forward, it felt like the officials had predetermined the outcome. That specific play changed everything. Nothing made logical sense afterward. No whistle. She should have received 3 free throws. 3 of them. She deserved all 3. This situation is absolutely ridiculous. We must contact the WNBA immediately because these referees must be removed. They must go. Aaliyah Boston was fouled on every possession. Each time Caitlin Clark passed her the ball, Aaliyah Boston endured physical contact repeatedly. Play after play after play. The Fever had to execute flawlessly just to remain competitive. Even that wasn't sufficient.
I don't get it. I don't know. But I do think there are 2 takeaways. 90-88 final score. But it should be noted, this is probably the best team in the league. The Fever lost by 2, and Caitlin Clark was 2 of 12 from three-point range. All right, do you know how few games she will ever be or ever shoot? She may never have another stretch in her career.
Let's revisit that final sequence again. I need everyone to witness this. Caitlin Clark is moving through screens, attempting to break free. She turns the corner, receives the ball with 1 second remaining, elevates for the shot, and Natasha Cloud impedes her. Direct body-to-body contact. That's a foul in every league at every level. They refuse to call it. You know what's crazy? Yesterday, I created content suggesting Natasha Cloud might target Caitlin in this matchup. Someone even mentioned it in the comments section, and look what occurred. She prevented Clark from getting that final clean opportunity. That call or lack thereof was disgraceful. I wish we possessed a better camera angle for detailed analysis, but we don't need one because from our available view, it's obvious Caitlin was fouled. This situation is terrible. Let me attempt to enhance the image. Screen action in the low post. Clark must get open. 1 second left. Foul right there. Clark fails to release the shot. Cloud prevents her and New York visits Indianapolis to claim victory. The fact that officials allowed it to slide explains why people demand their termination. That's why this game became viral, because fans aren't foolish. We recognize what we witnessed. What we saw was a superstar player denied the opportunity to tie or win on national television. I'm not claiming the Fever played perfectly. They committed 15 turnovers and missed several crucial shots. But that's not the issue. The issue is that referees made themselves the focal point. Now look, Natasha Cloud and I created content yesterday. I told everyone Natasha Cloud could potentially be the catalyst. I hoped not, but she could possibly be the reason Caitlin Clark gets targeted this game. Someone alerted me to this possibility in yesterday's comment section. I said, watch, there's always a player every game who creates problems for Caitlin, and this game it was Natasha Cloud. So recognition to whoever predicted that Natasha Cloud would be responsible for Caitlin Clark getting mistreated in this contest. Screen action in the low post. Clark must get open. 1 second left. Clark fails to release the shot. That was a foul. I wish we had another angle. I wish we had another angle. So I'm currently searching the internet right now. I'm literally browsing the web, attempting to find additional footage, because this situation is ridiculous. Natasha Cloud clearly fouled Caitlin Clark. Then people say Stephanie White faces criticism too, because she didn't challenge it. She didn't challenge the non-call whatsoever. They possessed a challenge remaining to use, but Stephanie White didn't utilize it. The point is that the Fever were capable enough to win this game, and the officials took it away. The worst part is the league probably won't take action, but they should, because this type of officiating doesn't just impact one game, it affects confidence in the entire league. It influences how new fans perceive the product. This was supposed to be a statement game. This was supposed to be the night Caitlin Clark demonstrated to the world she could compete with the league's finest, and she did, but it still wasn't enough because she wasn't just battling against the Liberty. She could have challenged that final play, but let's examine some game highlights. That's Caitlin Clark making these three-pointers. Because I'm telling you right now, she was cooking. Clark attempting to split the defense. Caitlin Clark entered that third quarter fearlessly. Watch how she uses her body to shield the defender. That's beautifully executed by Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark came in dominating. This is when things deteriorated. So this is them calling a foul on Lexi Hall, right? This foul determined the outcome. This foul right here was the reason they won the game. She was fighting against refs who clearly didn't want her to succeed. I don't enjoy making content like this. I prefer analyzing highlights, discussing what went well, but sometimes you must address the nonsense because this was terrible. I don't understand it. I don't know. But I believe there are two conclusions. 90-88 final score, but it should be noted, this is probably the league's best team. The Fever lost by 2 and Caitlin Clark shot 2 of 12 from three-point range. Do you realize how rarely she will ever perform this poorly? She may never experience another stretch like this in her career. What makes it worse, there was still a challenge available. Coach Stephanie White didn't even use it. Look at Boston's reaction. The Fever had a challenge in reserve and they didn't use it on that final play. That decision might haunt them. Let me break this down because it gets worse. Every time Caitlin fed the ball to Aaliyah Boston in the post, Boston was struck repeatedly. No calls. Same situation with Nalissa Smith. Same with Kelsey Mitchell. The refs allowed the Liberty to play as physically as they desired, but as soon as a Fever player extended a hand, immediately, whistle. It was one-sided, and the statistics prove it. The Liberty shot 25 of 32 from the free throw line.